Hey guys, welcome back here to Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys joining me for today's episode. Guys, today we have an on the water megabass dark sleeper video. You guys that have been with the channel for a long time, you've heard me talking about this megabass dark sleeper for a lot of years. I want to give you guys sort of an on the water demo on this, as far as how I fish it, exactly how I work it, and I'm also going to take you out on the lake and I'm going to show you the type of areas that I work it in. This is one of the best summertime lures that you can fish. It works great all year long. I catch fish on it even in the winter time, but it is really good for tough summertime bass like July, August, September. Well, every month is different as far as the areas you fish it in. For example, like in the winter time, I'm fishing it more on bluffy banks, and today I'm going to show you guys how to fish it on flatter stuff. But guys, this is a outstanding lure for, you know, any type of tough fishing condition. Now, the one I'm going to talk about today is the Megabass 2.4 inch right here. They make 4 different sizes. They make the 2.4, they make a 3 inch, a 3.5, and a 4.5 inch. And probably my 2 favorite ones are this little one, the little 2.5, the little 2.4, and the 3 inch. And first of all, to get started, let me show you something that makes this unique. This is not a swim bait. A lot of you guys that have been with me for a long time know that. It has a keel weight on the bottom of this thing. It's got a flat lead weight, and it stands up on the bottom just like that. It stands up perfectly. So this dark sleeper, it's like a little sculpin, and it's designed to be fished on the bottom. So when you're fishing the dark sleeper, you need to think about it in terms of like, fish it like a jig or a shaky head or something like that. It's not fished like a swim bait, even though it has the swim bait tail on it. And also, guys, I'll put the dark sleeper link in my tackle warehouse link in this video description if you guys would like to order some of them. They got a bunch of different colors, bunch of different sizes, but use that link. That's a good way to help the channel and get you some of these dark sleepers through Tackle Warehouse. Okay, so a lot of this, what happens, and I'm going to get here, I'm going to show you how to work it, but there's 2 different ways that these fish will hit this bait. One is when you pop it up off the bottom and they chase it up like that, then they grab it at the top of the pop. And the other one is when it wiggles back down like that, and that tail just wiggles nice and slow, and you'll just see your line jump. It's such a fun way to fish them. And depending upon the size, the tackle setup that you have is critical for this. And I want to explain why. It's because the action you put on the bait. Now, for today's video, we may do a video on different sizes at some point, but today we're concentrating on the 2.4. I've got it set up. I've got the Megabass Whip Snake spinning rod, the Oroshi. I've got the Cast King Royal Legend spinning outfit. I'll link all this stuff. I'll put the Cast King link and that Megabass rod link in the description of this video. This is the setup I got. 6-pound test, Seagar and Vizex fluorocarbon line. Straight fluorocarbon. You don't want to use braid to fluorocarbon. I got straight fluorocarbon setup here, 6-pound test. Now the 6-pound test is pretty critical also, because I've experimented with different line tests, and I really like the way it falls on 6. I get a lot of bites on 6. So this is my setup here. Now, for the 2.4 inch to work, guys, a lot of it depends on your water visibility as far as when I choose certain sizes. It is a cleaner water bait. I don't fish the dark sleeper if that water visibility is really anything under 2 foot. To me, the perfect water visibility for it is sort of that 3 to 6 foot visibility range. And specifically in the summertime, I wanted about 4 feet visibility for the 2.4 inch model. And we're on Table Rock Lake today. That's about what we have. We got about 3.5 or 4 foot of visibility. Okay guys, so now we're gonna get in the boat. I'm gonna take you out on the lake, and I'm gonna show you the type of areas I like to fish the dark sleeper in. And then I'm going to give you guys a demo on exactly how I like to work it. So here we go. Okay guys, we're here on a perfect main lake point for fishing the dark sleeper. I want you to take a look at this point here. It's a nice flat point. Now notice the bank over there. Look at the grassy yard there. See how flat it is sloping off into the lake? This is the type of points that work the best for the dark sleeper. You don't want steep points. You want these flat points that run way out into the lake, because most of these flat points have gravel or sand or small rock on it, and that's the best structure for summertime dark sleeper. So what you want to do here is, the first thing that I do is I'm gonna idle across this point here, and I'm gonna note the depth of it. So if you notice here, we're in about 30 foot of water here, and we're probably, I'm gonna guess, 150 foot from the bank. got a few fish here. I'm looking at a few fish. Those are probably rough fish, but the whole time that I'm graphing, I'm looking for bait fish. I'm not really looking for fish, and I'm not looking for these fish to be suspended here. I'm looking for them to be on the bottom, but I'm trying to get a feel for the slope of the point. So you can see it coming up right here on the depth line. It's starting to come up pretty quick here. It's going to rise up. We're into 15 foot now. And this, to me, once you start getting into this 5 to 15 foot zone, coming up sharply now, this is a key depth. So I'm looking at the point. I'm seeing how it's sloping off here. I'm going to make a couple more passes to try to get a visual on exactly where I need to be lined up, because I want to target, say in the situation we have now, I want to target that 5 to 25 foot zone. I expect a lot of the fish to be sort of in that 10 foot zone, but we got about 4 foot of water visibility here. So given that, those fish could be deeper just above the thermocline. The thermocline right now in the lake is about 25 or 30 foot. So I want to stay above the thermocline, so I'm not going to be fishing much below that depth. But this is one of the important things you want to do, is spend some time graphing out around the point here, and it gives you more confidence if you can find some bait fish. And like I said, I'm not using any other technology except the 2-dimensional sonar. And like right here, you take a look at it, there's a shad school. See that shad school right there? It's in about 12 foot of water. There may be some fish or may not be around it, but that gives me an idea that these fish may be using this point simply because there's some bait here and it's just set up really good. So anyway, we're going to get on the point. I'm going to get lined out, and we're going to start making a few casts. And what I want to try to do is I want to try to give you guys some tips and advice on exactly how to work the dark sleeper, because how you work the dark sleeper is critical to getting bites on it. If you don't work it right, probably not going to get many bites. So let's get out there and make a few casts here. Okay guys, now I'm going to run you through the whole deal about how I cast and how I work the dark sleeper. Now today's video, we're going to be doing the little dark sleeper with the spinning outfit, but you do the same thing, or you work it the same way with the bait caster with the larger sizes. I just use usually like a 7-foot rod with 10 or 12 pound line on it, but we're going to be snapping this thing off the bottom to create a reaction strike. So what you want to do is make your cast out there, and you're going to have to watch the bait, until it gets to the bottom. And like I said, the depth that you fish it just depends on the water clarity, but once it hits the bottom like it is now, I'm going to snap it like that a couple times. I'm going to watch my line until it goes down, snap it like that. Pretty rocky on the bottom here. I usually do, like when I'm out on the points, I'll fan cast everywhere around the point. I'll make a couple casts up there like in 5 foot of water, then I'll cast across the point, maybe like in 10 foot, and then I'll make a couple casts deeper out there like in that 15 or 20 foot zone, and just sort of try to saturate the whole point. Because a lot of times you may catch one fish up in 5 foot of water and then another fish in 20 foot of water on the same point. And in the summertime, also pay some close attention for schooling bass. A lot of the times on these points out here in the summer, the bass will come up schooling on the surface, and you can catch them doing that too. Okay guys, there's some good information that will get you started with the dark sleeper here. The thing about it is, people that have fished the dark sleeper, they love it. It's one of those baits that just, I don't know what it is, it just hasn't caught on. And I think the reason, a lot of it, is because people don't know how to fish it. People think you just throw it out there like a regular swim bait and just reel it through the water column. And it looks good like a swim bait, but it's not designed to fish like that. So just try some of the stuff I talked about, guys. If you have a lake that's got water visibility of, you know, over 2 or 3 feet, and especially if you have a lake that has a mixed species, like it's got largemouth spotted bass and smallmouth in it, that's where this thing really, really works good. Just give it a try. Run those points out there. It's just like that point I showed you. It's like you may fish 5 or 6 points and not get a bite, then you may pull up on one and catch 4 or 5 fish off of it. But I've had a lot of 25 and 30 fish days on this in the middle of the summertime. But it's just a fun bait to fish. Like I said, the people that use it and know about it, you know, sort of keep it quiet. But give it a try, guys. Colors, another thing, one final thing about colors. Megabass has got a bunch of different colors in that Tackle Warehouse link that I put in there. I like this one. This is a haze. They have another one that's got like a clear with sort of a yellowish back. There's 2 primary color patterns, some type of a shad pattern, and they do have crawfish patterns. And I've caught fish on all of them. All the colors are good. You just you have to have sort of rotate through them day in and day out. They may want one over another, but just have 4 or 5 different colors to try them all. So give it a try, guys. I think it's going to add up some good fish for you guys.